The movie BackCountry begins with a couple, Jenn and her husband, who embark on a camping trip. Jenn's husband is eager to show her a beautiful lake and waterfall he remembers from childhood, convinced it will be a perfect getaway. Ignoring the park ranger's advice to take a map, he insists he knows the area well. The couple leaves their car and sets off on foot, preparing for an adventure. Despite Jenn's initial unease and frequent use of her phone, her husband encourages her to be present and enjoy their time together. As they journey deeper into the forest, they encounter Brad, a peculiar and overly friendly stranger. Jenn invites him to share their meal, much to her husband's irritation. Brad's odd behavior during dinner unsettles them, and he eventually leaves after tension builds. This encounter sours the couple's mood, but they press on. The next day, Jenn's husband spots bear tracks but chooses not to alarm her. They wander off the main trail, aiming to find the elusive waterfall. By nightfall, his old injury worsens, and Jenn tends to his leg. Strange noises outside their tent wake them, but they dismiss it as falling leaves. As they continue, signs of danger grow. They find a dead deer partially eaten and realize they are lost. Jenn's husband confesses he hasn't been to this area since childhood, and their lack of a map becomes a critical mistake. Frustration mounts, and they argue, but they decide to rest and start fresh the next morning. That night, their food is stolen, presumably by a bear. Her husband downplays the situation to avoid scaring Jenn. As they press on, they stumble upon a bear's den. Jenn insists they leave immediately, but the inevitable confrontation occurs the following morning. The bear attacks their tent, leaving her husband grievously injured. Jenn uses bear spray to fend it off but cannot save him. He sacrifices himself, urging her to flee. Alone and traumatized, Jenn runs through the forest, evading the bear. She finds brief respite in a tree but is haunted by the bear's persistent roars. Determined to survive, she uses her wits and minimal supplies to navigate the wilderness. She sustains a leg injury after a fall but improvises a splint and continues. Jenn eventually reaches a stream and consumes berries to regain strength. However, the bear reappears, forcing her to flee again. Cornered near a waterfall, she lures the bear over the edge and escapes down a rocky path, injuring herself further. Undeterred, she treks through the night using a flare for light. The next day, Jenn's exhaustion peaks, but she follows a deer that leads her back to the campsite where they began. Severely injured, she drags herself to the boat and rows back to the park entrance. Upon arrival, she collapses, attracting the attention of Brad, who appears to help her. The movie ends ambiguously, leaving Jenn's ultimate fate uncertain. BackCountry is a harrowing tale of survival, highlighting the dangers of overconfidence and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of nature's unforgiving brutality. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.